Hi, welcome back to Inner Power Podcast. Today we've been joined by the lovely Julie Kent MBE. How can you forget? So thanks for joining us today. Want to find out a little bit more about Emily's gift and the amazing work you're going to be doing over the next year. You keep saying you're going to retire, and I don't believe you.
Did I say that last time that we did this?
You said that about 4 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
That was on the other podcast I do, but
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to mention it.
Yeah. I did retire from school though.
You did, yeah, well done.
I retired from a full-time job.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, brilliant.
That's
a good start.
Yeah.
That's a good start, yeah.
I think so.
Even my mum used to say, I don't know how she does it.
No, I know. Well, the thing is, when I was coming to the last couple of years at Dean Close, I was sort of nipping out to receive a check or give a quick talk, and I would double it up with promoting Dean Close at the same time.
Yeah.
So I used to love, and people used to say, "Oh God, what?" And quite often on my badge it would have Julie Kent, Dean Close / Pied Piper.
Right.
So it worked quite well. I could promote both.
Yeah.
But and then the thing is, my plan was to retire from school and do more gigs, and then I got the MBE while I was still there. In the June, I had the email about the MBE, and I was retiring in a couple of months' time. And I thought, I'll go into public speaking a bit more. And someone had said to me, because you've got an MBE now, you can get speaking work. But of course, the pandemic was on.
Yeah.
And so for 2 years, we didn't really come out. There weren't really big things to do that. And also, just before the pandemic, our fundraiser stood down at Pied Piper, and we didn't really want to pay one. So I said, I'll oversee the fundraising. And that just turned into me doing it full time, really.
Yeah.
And then it was working very well. And the chairman was very happy because he didn't have to pay anyone. And I was like out every day doing meetings at 6:45 in the morning online then. All our meetings were online.
Yeah.
And then really when it all started, everyone started to come out. He was thinking, well, I'm just going to keep quiet because actually she's doing a very good job and we're not paying anyone. And I kept saying to him, especially last year when it was 30 years, I said, I want to do something for Emily in Emily's name because she would have been 30 as well.
Yeah.
And then he said, well, it's our 30th year. And so I said, okay, I'll oversee that. And then I'm going to do something for Emily, which we're now in this year, 2023.
I think, yeah. I'm a bit out of the years.
I know, where are we? And I'm not really gigging that much, which is fine, because actually I don't really like late nights anymore.
Yeah.
I like to be in bed for the 10 o'clock news.
Oh, don't finish on the news, come on.
I do. I like to. It's really because
What way to finish your day?
I know, but then I know what's going on in
Right,
the world.
okay, fair enough.
And when you network a lot, like I do, I can join any conversation because I know what is going on in the world. Whether it is the interest rates or all the boring things, but I can sit and join any conversation. Whereas if you've got no idea what's going on, whatever it is,
that's a strategic move, actually.
That's a good move, yeah. I'm going to invite you to a martial arts networking event just to mess you up.
Well, there's not a lot of martial arts on the news.
No, that's true, yeah. Sometimes it's bad
Actually,
stuff.
who did I meet the other day? Someone who was injured. Oh, I met a guy, he was on crutches, and I said, is that from martial arts? And it was actually from something, and he'd thrown someone onto his ankle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he just sort of ignored it and thought he was better.
Yeah.
Nick, I hope you're listening. And then he
Get well soon, Nick.
Yeah, and then he did the same again, and now he's on crutches.
Oh,
So yeah, that is always a... See, we've been able to talk about that.
Well, look, got that in pretty well, hasn't it?
Yeah. I'm going to be on his YouTube.
Yeah, okay. So this feels like Emily's gift is your grand finale. So, and this is how you got your MBE, wasn't it? It's from 30 plus years of charity.
It actually says on the big scroll thing for founding the Emily Kent Trust and years of charity work.
Yeah.
And actually, when I went to Windsor Castle to get it, because. So I had the email and it said, but can you not tell anyone because we want to give out more for people that have done things in COVID. So even though this was the first week in June, can you not say anything until the autumn and then we're going to release it all?
Yeah.
So that was autumn 2020, but I only actually collected it 2022 January because again, you couldn't have hordes of people.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
normal thing is to go to Buckingham Palace, there's like 200 people in the room, you can take 3 people. Didn't have any of that. We went to Windsor Castle, I could only take Byrne, Mr. Kent, and there was only, we were in the room with Prince William and a string quartet in the corner, and Byrne could walk in with me. It was very, you know, you were told what you had to do. You do so many paces, you turn, you curtsy, you walk 3 paces. He's on this red mat, sort of, and he stays on the red mat. And when he steps off the red mat, that's your clue that he's gonna, you're done. You know,
Right.
the conversation's over.
Yeah.
But Byrne could walk and stand at the fireplace, so he could see everything. Whereas in a room of 200 people, he could have been in row 20, you know. and it's-
Yeah.
So actually, it was much more personal. But
That's
a
nice.
shame I couldn't take Ollie and my children.
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
yeah.
You know, it was good. And the first thing he said to me as he was pinning it on was, "Tell me about the Emily Kent Trust." And that was, you know, really nice. So yeah, it was good.
So you
I can't
started.
remember what the question
No,
was.
that's all
now.
right. No, so you've come full circle because really your charity work it started with the Emily
Yeah.
Kent Trust,
Yeah.
and you finished. You've gone through Pied
Yeah.
Piper, but you do a lot open doors, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, Cheltenham Open Door, I've been
Yeah.
chairman for about 4 years.
Yeah,
And Goals Beyond Grass, I've been on the board for about 4 years probably.
yeah, he's a nice guy. You
Yeah,
just between
Brian
a few years.
is
Yeah,
great,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And I'm part of the Honourable Company of Gloucestershire, which also has a trust that
Yeah.
gives money to smaller charities in Gloucestershire. So it's all sort of, you know, in the background. Giving is my big thing. I think, you know, a lot of people concentrated on giving rather
Yeah.
than...
And you taught me as well, Julie, is that the local not going to knock a national one, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean. It was
yeah.
like really focused on the local ones because
Yeah.
the money was able to go
Yeah,
more. So this is obviously close to my heart as well. So just to babysit for Emily.
yeah.
So I was going to ask a question. It's you know, that question has a dance in your head.
Yeah.
I know what it was because we're talking about wellness and mindfulness as well on here, a bit of spirituality. But so how is like to do this? How have was this to help your mindset, your well-being? Was it a bit of balancing the both? Like how'd you do it?
In the beginning, it was really, we were just on a roller coaster. She died, we knew so many people, we could never get her, so she'd have treatment and we couldn't have a scan to see how that treatment had gone because children that age, she was 2.5, needed to have an MRI scan, they needed to be anaesthetised and there were never slots. There wasn't enough anaesthetic equipment in Bristol to get her scanned to see how that treatment had done. Having said that, you know, the prognosis was never good from day one. You know, the chances of her surviving were very low. But if they offered you treatment that were going to give you another 4 months or whatever, you would take it. So when she died, you know, the funeral, the money went to raising money for anaesthetic equipment in Bristol so that all children then could be scanned quicker to see if that treatment had done any good or not. And that sort of snowballed then into, let's form a proper charity, let's raise money for children with cancer. And for me, my mindset was, we've got to just do something because I'm a very busy person anyway. So I was very conscious, you know, she was the first grandchild. I was very conscious of, I need to look after my mum and dad as well because they were in shock and they were upset. My middle sister had a baby of 6 months and I didn't want any of what had happened to us to, you know, we need to focus on Bradley, who was the grandchild that was alive at that time. So I was kind of worrying about everyone else and raising money and didn't really deal with it at all. It was just an automatic thing. And as we got on the fundraising roller coaster, we just did it. But we had decided not to have any other children because when Emily was about 18 months old, I had a miscarriage and I was playing a lot then. And so we decided, you know, we were quite old, in our late 30s, Ben was in his 40s, we decided we would just have Emily. Well, of course, when she died, then it became a bit of I said, we really need to have another child. So we then had Ollie, and I said, we can't just have one, we need to have 2. What if something happens to him, you know? Then I had another miscarriage, and then we had Georgia. And I think then, when we had them both, and we were still doing events and having a great big picture of Emily up before the auction to get people to give money, I said to Bern, I think we need to fold the charity. I think we need to focus on the 2 children we've got. I said, I don't think it's helping us. Well, it certainly wasn't helping me. It was like bringing me back there, but actually I hadn't dealt with it, and I was trying to bring up 2 children, and we'd moved into Dean Close for me to look after 60 teenage girls.
Yeah.
So it was a lot going on. Had I sorted any of that in my head? No, I was just rolling on with it. And then my dad died. And when my dad died, it hit me like a double-decker bus. And I went into a funny phase. I call it, some of my friends call it, that funny phase you had. meaning I didn't really want to come out from under the duvet.
Yeah.
I just didn't really want to socialise, but did. I was in automatic pilot. And for about 6 months, wasn't in a good place. In fact, I went on holiday to Spain, and I was out there for the whole 8-week holiday, and a friend of mine said, you should really ring your doctor. So I thought, I'll just ring my doctor and he'll prescribe something and my husband can pick it up on the way. It wasn't quite like that. They went, no, we're not really going to do that. We need to see you. I said, no, I'm in Spain, really. But that's how bad I was. I really did think I need something to help me through this. But actually, that friend did help me the whole of the summer. I was there for 8 weeks, and she'd experienced, mental health issues for herself and her family, and she was amazing. And because I was difficult, I didn't want to do anything. She made me go out, and she made me cry, and she made me talk, and and so by the time I went back to school in the September, I was in a better place. Probably still need counselling and therapy now, but again, what do I do? My way of dealing with it is to find a positive, and then the positive charges me on, so that our loss is going to benefit so many other people, and that makes me feel that something good has come from our loss, and that's the only way I can describe it.
That's a beautiful coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Beautiful coping mechanism.
Great
Because you can turn it into something negative. We spoke about it.
Yeah.
On a show, right?
Yeah,
but you can also make something really positive out of it, and this is exactly what you do.
Yeah, because
amazing.
I do think that, I used to enjoy my wine quite a lot. I could easily, I was going to say hit the bottle. There are lots of other ways, you want to, lots of people that have addictions, it's because they want to cloud out. If you drink a few bottles of wine, then you soften your issue, but actually it also then makes you think erratically, and that's not a good thing either. But everyone has to deal with it their own way, and I meet a lot of mums that have lost their children. They've all dealt with it differently, and there is no right and wrong.
I agree.
Some people don't like to touch their stuff ever, get that. Some people quickly get rid of it, that's their way of dealing with it. There's just no right or wrong in grief generally.
But it's just a bit of a journey, unfortunately. It happens. You go for it as you go through it. But I don't know if I said last time I spoke to you on a podcast interview. So because there's a award in Bristol named after Emily, isn't it?
There was. When we had the charity, they were building the new children's hospital in Bristol. So we gave them money, and it was called the Emily Kent Unit and Bone Marrow Transplant. But about 4 or 5 years ago, it was after 2018 actually, because I've got a photo of me in 2018 outside the ward. We crept into the hospital at night. I'd been to a launch of an awards thing.
I just got a vision of you like climbing in like this ninja now. And it's like,
actually, it was like 8:30 at night into the children's hospital, and I was with a friend, and we actually went up the stairs and we were trying to find it. We asked someone, and then we just arrived there, and I said, right, take a photo. And actually, it wasn't long after that they changed all the names of the wards to like Ocean Ward and things that were more child friendly. And I suppose it was 20 years on, so the people that had given the money 20 years before, they probably thought, actually they did write to us, but we weren't in our house. So it went to Hucklecote Road and we weren't living there. So there was a letter that we didn't get. I mean, we couldn't have done anything about it anyway, because Bern was quite upset that it wasn't called that anymore. But in Gloucester, the Emily Kent Unit, I mean, everyone in the hospital knows the EKU. It's the Emily Kent Unit. It's where all the children in Gloucestershire go for their cancer treatment. It's so well known. They'll never, I would say never, change it. And so there is there is a bit of, it's lovely to have that there, but this Emily's gift is going to be even more important in a way, because it's going to give the children and the families psychological support, which is desperately needed. And I was talking to someone yesterday and she said, but the adult cancer ward, they have someone there that they can talk to. And I said, I know, we need that for the children and their families and siblings, and we are going to, we're going to give them that for 10 years.
Brilliant.
I mean, 500,000 is a lot.
Yeah, so you're trying to raise this year £500,000.
Not trying that.
Not trying, yeah, you're right.
Going
doing
to
doing
raise.
it. It's already done. And you're going to double it.
What do you mean double it?
You're going to double it.
What, double 500,000?
Yeah, why
Oh,
not?
I can't. You know,
You can't tell me off for saying try and then say can't.
Oliver Bruce said that. It was on
Yeah.
his podcast a couple of 18 months, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I said to him, you know, driving in, I'm thinking I'm going to raise, I think I'd said 250, and he went, no, raise $1 million. And then when I left there and I was saying to people, in fact, Neil Morgan, who has designed all of this,
Lovely leaflets, aren't they?
Yeah, they are lovely.
Yeah.
And I met him for a coffee and I said, I'm going to raise $1 million, and nearly choked on his coffee. So he was very relieved when I actually got it down to 500,000. And it's 500,000 because a psychologist is 50 grand.
Yeah.
And I mean, they don't get all of that, obviously, national insurance, all the rest of the malarkey. But 50,000, 10 years, 500,000. I said, right, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. A biggish but manageable target. But I want to do it in 1 year. I don't want this to go on and on and on.
Yeah.
I want it to do it in 1 year. I want to blitz it. Because then the sooner, you know, when I get to 200,000, they'll employ the person, hopefully.
Right.
This year, within,
Right, okay,
I'm
yeah.
hoping
So it's
that within this year,
yeah, okay.
before I've finished,
Yeah.
that person will be in place.
Brilliant. Oh, that'd be nice.
And I have spoken to Little Richard, I call him, who's from the Cheltenham Gloucester Hospital's charity, who are, all the charity money sort of goes through them, and he's been amazing. And, you know, we sort of said to him in our last meeting, you know, could it be by January, this person? And he said, I'd like to think before that. He never commits to anything.
I guess
You know,
it's
he's
hard
very-
to, yeah.
So now in my head, I've got September. That'd be
Right.
a great time, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He sort of intimated, once I've got 200,000 in the bank, then that's 4 years worth.
Yes.
That would be worth them, you know.
Yeah.
So, and the families that I am getting to know that are on the Emily Kent unit, you know, especially I've got my 2 boys who have got leukemia, and they're on 3 years of treatment.
Right.
I want them to benefit, because also I want the psychologist to be there when they're in remission, so that when they in 6 months time get the letter, they've got to come back for a scan to see if it's come back. I want them to have access to the psychologist, because a lady in Stroud has told me when her daughter gets that, they go through it all again.
Yeah.
Coming in for the scan, waiting for the results, you know. You need a psychologist then.
Yeah.
So I want them to have the benefit of it. I don't want it to start in 3 years' time. I don't want to
No.
be raising this for 3 years, and
No.
it's got to be,
Yeah. Let's get on it.
get on it.
Well, like you said, if the adults have already have access to that,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any. It makes sense adults do, but it doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
that children don't.
No. It's just money, Matt.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
the hospital itself, I would imagine every ward, liver, hearts, whatever, they all need something. They all need an extra machine in the corner that tests this, or we just can't do it, can we really? It's just not possible. And the rest of the children on the children's centre, you know, the children with cystic fibrosis, with diabetes, they also need access.
Yeah.
Which I think this will hopefully spur the NHS into
Yeah.
getting them sorted too.
Yeah. Good.
This will just be children with cancer.
Yeah. Well, it's a good start. So you got an event at the end of March at Gloucester Brewery, is that right?
Yeah, so ideally, I don't want to do a year of events.
No.
I've done 30 years of events. Balls, quizzes, Skittle nights years ago, do you remember?
You must be a pro skittler by now and do a quiz at the same time. I think
your mum will say, we actually joined a skittle team. I think your mum came to play in someone else's name.
Yeah.
And we had to call her Rachel instead of Jen because otherwise the other girls' team would have sussed out that actually we'd brought a ringer, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think your mum could really play skittles, but we just chucked the ball down the thing. But anyway.
Did they all come out alive?
Yeah, it wasn't life or death.
Yeah, so she can play.
Yeah. So I don't really want to do a year of events. The way I'm seeing this appeal is, I've simplified it.
Yeah.
250 people, businesses, families, whatever, give me £2,000.
Yeah.
And then we got it, sussed.
Yeah.
Because a year of events will kill me. Having said that, in the back of my head, I've got a snowball in January in my head, possibly. But the event that is booked in is at the Gloucester Brewery on Wednesday, the 29th of March, 6 o'clock till 9. So people can come straight from work. It'll be a bit like a networking thing, a £5 to get in, so it's accessible to everyone. Bring your kids, bring everyone, but you've got to wear a hat. Because our logo, this is a big thing that we're going to play on this year. And a lovely Polish lady called Jovi has crocheted hats like this that you can either wear as a brooch or you can have it on a keyring. She's amazing, I love her. Give you a shout out, Jovi. And they will be there, but the hat is the thing. So unless everyone has a hat party, I mean, let's face it, you just invite all your friends round, everyone wears a hat. I think it's a bit different, but the hat is going to be the thing for the year. So it's a hat party, £5 a head, everyone come, March the 29th at Gloucester Brewery.
I love it.
Do I need to say anything else
about
that?
No. Emily used to love wearing hats, didn't she?
She did, yeah. She had, because, obviously once she lost her hair, she had hats in every colour. So on the website, there's pictures of her in a red velvet one. In fact, my daughter said yesterday, she had a red one. She had a navy one, a red one, a pink one. Because it was flipping cold, isn't it? That time of year, and it was just lovely. And so the hat on our logo is exactly the kind of hat she used to wear, but they were velvet that it would have a flower in. And it's a different kind of logo because for children's charities, people choose balloons or teddies or Pied Piper was a bit odd. People say, why ever did you choose that? It wasn't us, but it's a nice logo, and she loved lilac. So we've just deepened the colour a bit to make it a bit more noticeable. But yeah, in fact, as I just said that, I was just thinking, gosh, imagine when the year ends.
Yeah.
That'd be it.
Well, I don't think so, you, Julie, to be honest. You're always full of energy, and anyone I speak to, everyone, how come Jodie does it?
You can't, just turn that fire off. All of a sudden.
No,
there would be something.
Yeah, I'll direct it somewhere.
Am I allowed to say you're a grandma now?
Yeah!
Am I allowed to say it now?
I'm a nonna.
A nonna.
I'm a nonna. Yeah. I wasn't ready to be a granny.
I remember.
Flip. Because, you put granny into Google and you get grey hair and glasses. And, I just wasn't ready for that at all. Imagine being in town and she's calling me granny. Oh, no, that's not ready. Nonna is great.
Yeah.
And she's easier to say for a child. And actually, we didn't know what she was going to call Burn. He was kind of odd. But Pops, we don't even know where it's come from, but she calls him Pops. And she calls her other nanny.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure whether she calls him granddad or what. But Nonna is quite, I feel it's, took her to the doctors the other day, and he said, and you are Granny? And I went, I'm Nonna. And he goes, oh, Nonna, right. Is that? So I said, it's Italian. It's just the one we came at that I was most comfortable with. And it's really interesting because she sees, I got all the photos of Emily out.
Yeah.
And two things really. One, didn't realise how many photos we had of her on treatment. And in fact, when I saw some of them when she was really, I thought, God, that's not her. And then I realised it was her. For the website and everything, and all that, we only have the nice ones around the house, obviously. And anyway, all the photos are out, and she thought it was her. Marley thought it was her.
Yeah.
And I said, no, that's Emily. And she said she's got a friend called Emily. I don't know if it's at nursery or something, but and the photos of my daughter now, Georgia, when she was that age, and Marley, we all look very similar.
Yeah.
Which is, but
Yeah, Georgia is a spit of you.
Yeah, she is in every way.
I'm looking and like,
she is in every way. But when Georgia was little, and people said, "Oh, how many brothers and sisters have you got?" She always used to say, "Well, I've got a sister in heaven and I've got a brother."
Yeah.
We've always talked about, Emily, and so obviously Georgia's business, G's Beauty, is supporting this year.
Yeah. And where's G's? I wanted to ask, where can we? So what does Georgia do?
So Georgia does nails and lashes. I mean, she's fully trained in everything, but nails and lashes are so popular now. She doesn't have time for facials and massage and.
I'm coming in.
You never know.
Yeah.
And so she's moved to Suffolk Road.
Yeah.
And it's lovely up there.
It's nice
I mean,
there.
we got used to all the coffee shops on Regent Street because she was in Regent Street. But now she's moved to the Suffolk. Where there's Suffolk Coffee and there's Baker and Gray's and there's we're just going to Boho Cafe now, which is great. The coffee is really mellow. So we're just getting used to that area, and it's much bigger space. And actually, I go and work there in the kitchen. She's got a high stall, and I work there. And it's above our hairdressers that we've had for years and years and years. So it's the Suffolk's is a lovely area, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It is nice.
So, and actually, a lot of people, because we're putting it out there now in the last week, thanks Punchline for sticking it out on Wednesday. Business Innovation magazine, they put it out yesterday. People are reading it more. And I suppose I know so many more people now than I did 27 years ago. And I wonder what I would have been like, because I'm a social media queen. I wonder what I would have been like if it had happened in a social media time. I don't know. Yeah, it would have been interesting. But
yeah, it would have been what it had been.
Yeah.
It's gone the way it's gone.
Yeah.
You brought up social media, so how, if someone's interested to, what's the pledge or...
Yeah.
I love the hat idea.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to do a hat theme night
Yeah,
for fitness kickboxing now.
definitely. It's so easy. Everyone has a cap or a hat. And it's just, you literally, and actually, the best hat, you can give a bottle of wine to the best hat. People
Easter's coming up. Remember, we used to make the
Easter
Easter bonnet.
bonnets!
That's it.
Absolutely, yeah. We tried to get that going in the charity shop actually a couple of
Did you?
years ago.
Yeah.
Because we have loads of hats in the charity shop, and we said, look, you can buy a hat for £1, decorate it, but it didn't really catch on. I think people couldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
So, but to arrive at a party and stick a hat on, easy, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is easy.
But what was I going to say? I can't remember.
Social media we was talking about.
Yeah, social media. Well, it's at Emily's Gift.
Yeah.
It's on Instagram and Facebook. It is on Twitter. I'm writing blogs. I find it really hard with the whole blog thing. I don't know how much detail to write.
Yeah.
Because my first one or the second one I wrote, I think the second one was our first lot of chemo. And I, talked about, in the morning her hair being on the pillow and stuff like that. And I thought, oh God, is this too much for people? And everyone who read it said I was in floods of tears. And I told my sister not to read it at all. But if you write it, then it does make people realise what it all entails. And then,
so you've got to touch on the pain points, I guess.
Yeah,
Must
really.
be the hard bit. But,
So I'm sort of reliving it. Is there going to be a book at the end of it? All these blogs.
I knew it! There'd be something else.
I don't know. That's because people keep saying to me, you need to write a book. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah, the
blimey.
movie.
It's
Julie Kent MBE, the movie.
You never know.
You never know.
Yeah. Who would
You're
play-
laughing
right,
'cause
that's
it's true.
interesting.
Yeah.
Right, who would play me out of all
If
the
I come to George, just get my lashes done, my nails. I'll give it a go.
No, I always said to the girls in my boarding house, because we have diaries.
Yeah.
So I've got 20 years of diaries, and every night
Wow.
the tutor would write, Emily was a pain, Diane and Janet fell out, they were screaming each other down the corridor, glad the night is over, because the tutor on duty would then leave and go home, and we would be there all the time, obviously. So sometimes if I wasn't on the handover that night, I'd read it in the morning, I'd be like, oh, blimey. So I'd go up and say, right, what went on, And I used to say to the girls, I will write a book, The Diary of a House Mistress or something. So that, I still got all those books. And they used to say, will I be in it? Will I be in it? And I'd say, Well, I'm not going to use your real names, obviously, but we used to get up to some antics.
Yeah.
So didn't always obey the rules myself. And then I thought, oh gosh, yeah, would I be able to write that down? but blogging, keeping the blogs could turn into something, I don't know.
Yeah.
It can easily.
Yeah.
No,
But I just wouldn't, I don't think I would have the time ever to sit down and do that.
I'll find someone to do it for you.
Yeah, that's what you do, isn't it? That's what you do, get someone to do it.
So 29th at Gloucester Brewery.
29th at Gloucester Brewery, and for a year, you will be sick of me talking about Emily's gift. I'm gathering a wardrobe of purple. Look, that's fab. In branding out.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I didn't put it on today because I'm thinking for a year I'm going to be in purple. But yeah, it's just, wouldn't it be great if we hit it by Christmas?
I feel.
Do you?
I feel you will. Yeah.
There is no way if.
Yeah. Yeah, I
no
feel
way
you
for
will.
that.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So would I then stop, do you think? Or would I carry on to the
I
march?
can't see you doing
No.
that. No, I think you'd carry on to the march because you'd then say, well, we've done it this quickly. So,
A
yeah.
lot of people saying that. That puts me under more pressure though, do you think?
Look,
No.
you'll know as the time comes. I won't think about it.
No,
Yeah,
I'm just,
don't think
all
about
I
it.
can focus on is the next 2,000.
Yeah.
But
At
having
one
s-
event at a time.
Yeah.
I know you're not necessarily doing loads.
Yeah.
We're going to host an event for you as
Yeah,
well. So,
yeah.
and I'm sure other people will.
What I'd really like is everyone to host an event.
Yeah.
If everyone had an event, I will turn up at it.
Now, while you're saying that, are you going to sing and play? And
I don't really want to sing and play it.
No,
But I will turn up in a hat at
Yeah.
every single event. So even if there's 3 events on in one night, I will arrive at all 3.
Right, brilliant.
So if you all organise your own events, I will pitch up at some point.
Love it.
That would be the easiest for me.
Yeah.
You're not gonna retire at the end of the year. It's impossible. You are so passionate and you have so much energy. I can't, see you just going cold turkey. It's impossible.
I go cold turkey on a sun lounger, so I'm very hot for the first month. And get my head together.
Yeah.
And then,
You definitely deserve a break.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
yeah, because, last year was a mega year at Pied Piper. We raised over 400,000, and to go straight onto this is a bit of a mission. But no, it's all good. I mean, otherwise, what am I going to do? Sit around and, I was going to say knit. Knitting, we like people that knit. If you can knit a hat, great. I don't know. But
Someone could do a knit-a-thon.
yes, stitch and bitch.
Stitch and bitch. That's good, isn't it? Have a stitch and bitch coffee
knit-a-thon.
morning.
Yeah,
Yeah, why not?
knitting, crocheting, book clubs. If you're in a book club, then, just every week put a £5 in for the coffees or something. But, saying 250 things given us 2,000 will take 10 quid. A tenner, 20 quid, 200 quid, it all, pennies just mount up. And it all...
Give me some idea.
Yeah. And time.
So much. Maybe I should put one idea a week on my social media for fundraising ideas, shall I?
Yeah.
Put one idea
Yeah.
on a week. Actually, maybe 2.
Yeah.
So
And people are probably sometimes when you say something out as well, you say stitch and bitch, but I think instantly it creates an idea.
yeah.
Maybe for something else. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
It could just be a coffee morning, but you can make it. That sounds fun.
I had a knitting group in my boarding house.
Did you?
We were rubbish. So there used to be about 8 of us sat round on a Monday, because it was activities on a Monday afternoon. And I wanted to do something that kept me in the boarding house. So I said, right, we'll do knitting. So we got all this wool and we would just knit these long scarves, holes everywhere. We started off, we were going to do squares. Remember when you do squares and you sew them all together? But honestly, we were so rubbish. And I had all the books, stitching books, and and in the end it just meant cups of tea, knitting. My matron used to cast them all on, and then it just went haywire. But it was those girls that came every Monday loved it, and some of them were quite quiet. They weren't the sporty girls, because the sporty girls were doing all the sporty stuff, and they were girls that just liked to sit and knit 2 stitches in an hour. Yeah. And actually we shouldn't say stitch and bitch, because you shouldn't bitch about anyone.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
knit just
no,
rhymes.
yeah.
Sit and-
It just rhymes, so it was more
sit
like
and knit.
sit and knit. Yeah.
Sit and knit for Emily's gift.
Yeah. Tie it with a coronation as well. Why not?
Yeah, well, our Pied Piper Ball on June the 17th is called a Right Royal Ball because June the 17th is King Charles's official royal birthday. I think his birthday's in November, but you know how the Queen had one in June because mine was a birthday honours award.
Yeah.
So his is officially June 17th, which is our Right Royal Ball at what is called Leonardo's now, isn't it?
Yeah, in Cheltenham.
Yeah. So yeah, you can put anything to anything to raise money.
Yeah.
Really, can't you?
Yeah.
You know, you could sponsor people to run the width of that road or the length of this road. You know, 1,000 times up and down this road, or you could get run over.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm trying to get coronation chicken running back and forth.
Yeah, that is the bit. Yeah, the risk assessment.
Yeah.
The risk assessment would be too big.
Yeah.
But you can turn anything.
Well, then you could turn it into a stitch and bitch about the stupid idea that I had of running across the road.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I used to say, we never used to have our figures. For Pied Piper, we'd get to the end of the year, the accounts were done like February, and they say, oh, we made 285,000. I was kind of like, why didn't you tell me in December? And I would have run through Cheltenham naked to get that last earning. Probably a good job you didn't tell me.
I wouldn't say that on camera, because you know someone's going to write that down and think, oh, okay, let's just hold a bit back. Let's just not tell her. And go, actually, we did get it. But anyway, well then, you got some extra.
Yeah. So that is another thing. I really am keeping a close tab on what we are on, which is easier with this.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit more difficult with Pied Piper, but this, you know, the pledge is coming in, Just Giving. We've got a Just Giving page, so if you want to give 10 quid, 20 quid, we've got a Just Giving page. Just Giving pages are hard, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Oh, flip.
Yeah.
So it's something crazy like justgiving.com/page/Emily's gift. Actually not bad for a Just Giving page because mostly they're like numbers and you should, on our website, which is beautiful, James Ford design, oh my word.
Wow.
When we're off camera, I'm going to show you to the website. It's so beautiful and it's for free.
Oh.
So yeah, thank you, James Ford Design. I think we've nagged quite a lot. Bless him. It was all a bit quiet, and then yesterday it's all, and it's all this and the pink.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
It's lovely designs.
Yeah. So lots on the website.
Bro. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you. It's been great to talk to you as always and get some.
And she's been very quiet. I'm a bit concerned.
I know,
I'll
she's
tell you
been
what it
listening.
was. I decided to participate in colour. You know?
Yeah, very well.
But because you know each other for so long.
I only met Julie just a minute ago.
Yeah, she scared me out.
Jump scared her.
I had coffee on my mind. I'm going for a coffee now. Thanks, guys. You're amazing. I can't wait to come and visit. You know, and do what.
Oh, your radio show, because you guys the other day. So when's your radio show?
So Angg Wellbeing is going to be on my radio show after this. Let me just think now. So I have got the first two. So Neil is this week, and you could be the week after. So you are. I'm just trying to think if I got another one already done. Wait a minute. Let me just get my head together. I don't think. Well, you should listen every Sunday.
I was going to say, I will.
Yeah.
But just when's your radio show, Julie? That's all we want to know. They're like, when is it?
4
We want to listen to one, we won't watch it all. Listen.
My brain is gone. 4 p.m. Sunday afternoons, 7 FM, Julie's Jukebox. And you can listen again. So if you go on 7fm.com, all my shows are there. Just go to Julie's Jukebox, all my shows are there. You did one, didn't you? Yeah, so yours is there, everybody's is there. Steve Nibbs, he did one, Mark Owen did one. So just go on. It's not this Sunday. It could be the Sunday after or the Sunday after that.
Or the Sunday after that. Or the
No,
Sunday after
definitely.
that.
I haven't recorded that many yet. Definitely not. And we try and make it sound we're live anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know, as you were talking, I had an idea because when I was on your show, I mentioned to you that I'm doing workshops right now.
Yes.
Do you think I could use those workshops and raise money for Emily's gift?
Well, you charge the people to come to the workshop, do you?
I mean, you know, Originally, what we decided to do was to offer them for free for the members of the academy,
yeah.
and obviously not free of charge for outsiders.
Yeah.
But a discounted price for the family members of the members, if that
Yeah.
does make sense. But then, as we were chatting about it, we thought it's better just to spread the word and spread
Yeah,
awareness.
yeah.
But I do like the idea of using Emily's gift, or maybe now my workshops, as a format to support Emily's gift, and maybe give people opportunity to contribute
Yeah.
and help.
Yeah. I mean, we're having pins. We're going to have lovely little pins, and so we could have the pins out, and they could take a pin and put some money in the bucket.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
and then because they're going to wear the pin, and people are going to say, "What's that pin?" Because it's not. I mean, we all wear. I don't know if you're in certain Rotary, they have a pin, don't they? Lots of people have a pin, but I think it's going to be quite different. It's the lilac and pink, and it is going to be different. And people are going to be, if they're brave enough to say, "What is that pin?"
Yeah.
Then it's just going to spread the word even more. So if at your workshop we have the pins out, and also I'm happy to come and talk for 5 minutes at your beginning or end or
That's a good idea.
whatever. I could just pop in and do a sort of, you know, I can talk about anything, as you know, but dealing with grief, 5 minutes, you know, just 5 points. In fact, I think I've got 7 points of coping with grief, 7 ways to deal with it. Some YouTube somewhere.
So in a way, that's another workshop, or you know, something you can introduce.
Yeah.
I went to one actually years ago, a few years back. It was 2020. It was Robin Waite was one of his. He generally does like a introduction to him, I guess. That was free, and he said if you could make a pledge. I think at the time he was raising, you know, there'd been the Australian fires.
Yeah.
So people just could make a pledge or whatever there. So you know, if you people that do webinars or you know, as business, sometimes we've got a lot of free events to get a bit of attraction to what we're doing. So I think that might be a nice way of doing stuff. So
Okay, and actually I might know some parents that might benefit from your wellbeing workshops.
Yeah.
Oh, I do believe they would.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to sound like I'm bigging myself up, but it's amazing. When I've learned that stuff, I thought people need to know that. They really need to know that. And the feedback I'm getting from people just proves me that I'm right. So I'm really excited about it. Really am.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
There you go. So there's some ideas for you as well. All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you, or you'll hear us next time. Bye.